Gents, I just want to pause the episode for a moment to let you know about the Strong Men of Value Academy. You will have heard me refer to it a number of times, and I want to bring more attention to it. So this isn't just a program, it's a life-changing environment and community of men who are focused on personal and professional growth. We're looking at areas of relationships, wealth, and health, things to help you thrive and maximize your life. Imagine having bi-monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with myself, weekly group coaching calls, and an incredible brotherhood of high achievers by your side. Now we're diving into resilience, leadership, and holistic growth to not just succeed in your career, but to thrive in your health and your relationships. Your journey to greatness, it starts here. So join the movement and you can apply for the Strong Men of Value Academy. You can head to themanthatcanproject.com to find out more. I bet you've felt overwhelmed or anxious in your life. If you haven't, well, you probably just email me the tips and tricks, but I know firsthand how overwhelming life can be. And this is obviously why I continue to talk about what we're doing at the Man That Can Project. And I probably undersell it to you guys. And as much as I don't want to feel like I'm always selling, it's like the results that we're getting for men and the impact that it's having is literally changing men's lives. And so if you're sitting on that fence and you're wanting to improve your life, then you need to start checking it out. The next intake isn't until April. So if you don't want to wait that long, the best thing that you can do, and the sole reason why the Breakthrough Online experience is there, it helps with overwhelm. It helps you understand more about who you are, the direction that you want to take your life, right? You can understand the negative thought patterns that you have and you need to overcome, how to chunk your time so you can be more effective and efficient chasing your goals, plus so much more. And by doing this, it's going to set you up to come into the academy with an incredible foundation to thrive once you get that accountability and you're working towards some goals. So gents, definitely don't just skim past it. Hand on heart, I spent so fucking long making that program, and I've put it together in an order or a process that I wish I got taught that stuff. I've spent literally over 6 figures on my own development, plus I can't even tell you how many hours I spend or have spent on reading, learning, coaching, to put all of this stuff into little bite-sized weekly modules for you that you can utilize and implement to become a better version of yourself before launching into the academy. So thank you guys for your continued support. Once again, it means the world, and I love it when you guys tag me and share it. Let's get into today's episode on overwhelm. Man That Can Project podcast, a podcast empowering career-driven men to live more fulfilling lives. We are here to challenge your beliefs, redefine success, and talk about the important stuff in a relatable way. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. My name's Lachlan Stuart. Let's get into it. Awesome to have you back here today. I'm really pumped for this one. So if you experience overwhelm, this is going to be a cracking episode for you, and it's something that has come up in a few conversations I've had with members in our academy, and I feel that you may experience this as well. And I want to give you my first-hand experience with this, but also perspectives and understandings from having conversations with other men out there, because it is so common for you to feel overwhelmed. And for me, leaning into that overwhelm and where it really stems from is we live in a time where it's information overload, right? As you're listening to this right now, you've probably got notifications pinging, or maybe someone's talking to you, or you're probably multitasking, right? That's one of the beautiful things about podcasts is you can be doing a couple of things at once. But because we're doing so much, we're consuming so much information, if we don't ever take downtime to just let that settle, right, or to let it process, we're going to continue to feel overwhelmed. And what overwhelm leads to, if it hangs around for a fair period of time, is anxiety. We become anxious because there's multiple reasons, but we're often overthinking about where the future is and we don't know what specifically we're wanting, right? And when we're not focused on what we want, or we don't have certainty or clarity around that, I think about this shiny disco ball syndrome, right? I don't know whether you've heard about it, but an old mentor of mine used to say I had it because when I was in network marketing, I would always get excited about trying new sales techniques. Okay, one week I'd be door knocking, the next week I'd be trying Instagram. This was back in 2014, so Instagram wasn't a real big deal back then. And then I'd be trying cold calling. And then I'd be trying Uber driving. Then I'd be trying catching public transport. And he's like, mate, I feel like you get excited about the latest sales trend that you never really give anything a go long enough to understand it and really give it a crack to get some great feedback. And looking back, I can 100% go, bro, you were definitely right. I just wanted to succeed. So I kept listening to everyone's opinions and what those potential new, I guess, fast tracks could have been to me achieving success. So you may be sitting there feeling overwhelmed because the goals that you have, you might not be certain that the plan that you have is the best plan. And the only way, right, hand on heart, the only way you're going to fucking find out if it is the best plan for you is to follow it through. So say, for example, you've set that out in a 12-week game plan or whatever plan you're using to work towards your goal. It might be a 1-year goal, 2-year goal, whatever that is. Check in on it, right? Review, give yourself some milestones. And within those milestones, you can find out whether you feel you're on track or not. And if you're not on track, you can sidestep, you can pivot, and you can modify things as you go because you're never going to get it right 100% of the time. Anything that I have ever worked towards achieving, I've changed within the process. Even I look at the our academy or even the Man That Can project itself or this podcast, it started with the intent of one thing, but it's grown and evolved as I've personally grown and evolved. But I've also seen feedback and understand what worked well for me, what was fulfilling, but also what works well for you listening. Okay, so if you're experiencing that overwhelm right now, here's a few things that I would recommend doing to help yourself. And let's put overwhelm for the sake of this, purely because the only reason why I'm talking about this today is, like I said, I had a conversation with one of our members and he was overwhelmed about his goals. And, you know, I was first and foremost, I was like, bro, I'm absolutely stoked that you've, you know, put your hand up and said, this is where I'm at, because it's so easy. And it's definitely a common thing that when we feel overwhelmed as men, we don't put our hand up for help. We try and grind through it. And life's fucking hard enough. We don't need to make it any harder. Like, you don't need to make it any harder on yourself. You know that. You've got enough shit going on. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, ask yourself specifically, what am I feeling overwhelmed about right now? And more often than not, if you give yourself a response, so right now, I might be overwhelmed because I don't feel like I've achieved enough in the day. Okay, well, why do I not? My next question would be, why do I feel like I haven't achieved enough in the day? And I might go, I actually don't know. I have no real tangible answer for that. I'm just feeling that way. So how you can then overcome that would be to go, okay, well, let's go to my to-do list for the day or my 3 daily tasks, and let's see where I'm at with them. Or my diary. Where am I at with that? Have I ticked off what I intended to do for the day, or have I not? And if you have, you've just blown that overwhelm out of the water, because you can now look at yourself and go, bro, or Lockie, I've done everything I said I wanted to achieve today. So pat myself on the back. You've done well, so no need to be overwhelmed about that. What do I want to do with this spare time that I now have? Do I want to create some more tasks that I can work towards that are going to help me achieve my goal, or do I want to have some downtime? That's a question. But see how by asking more questions and challenging the overwhelm, you can really simplify it. Right? You don't need to carry that throughout the day, but there's, you may be sitting there going, fuck, easy in theory, but I can't just get out of my head. That my elevated heart rate, the heavy breathing, the just maybe sick in the stomach feeling. How do I get over that? And I can definitely relate to that. But for me, it's really building that discipline to even just stop for 4 long breaths. Just anyway, I'm not going to do all of them, but you get the gist, right? It'll activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, and you'll learn to relax a bit. Your body will start relaxing. Okay, and when you feel more relaxed, the overwhelm disappears and you can now focus. But one of my favorite point around this, and what I said to the gentleman today, was what is one thing you can focus on right now that is going to help move you forward to what you said you were going to do today? Right? Drop everything else you've feel you need to do, because more often than not, a lot of the time you're focusing on low priority tasks, right? Shit that if it doesn't get done, it's not going to affect your life at all. You just feel the need to do it because it makes you feel busy, which makes you feel like you're doing something. Drop that shit. Think about the high priority tasks, and if you could do one or complete one more for the day right now, what would it be and what would the impact be on your life? Just go back and do that. That's all I want you to do. Because when you do that, you now know you've achieved that one thing that's going to have the most significant impact on whatever goal it is that you're working towards for the day. And if you can then look at that and go, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve today, the overwhelm disappears. When you've got direction, when you've got actionable steps, you can't be overwhelmed. You can't be anywhere else. You have to be in the process, right? That's where you have to be. Otherwise, you're not going to tick it off. So, I guess to really emphasize that point, get into fucking action and you will overcome the overwhelm. Give it a crack. What do you got to lose, right? You either sit in the overwhelm or you don't. I know what I'd rather be doing. I know what I prefer to do, even if it is extremely hard. So that's, I guess, a short, sharp one to wrap the week up with you guys. And as I mentioned, I really appreciate every one of you who support the show. We're getting so many new listeners, so I appreciate everyone who shares it, tags us, recommends it to friends, leaves reviews. Without you guys, the show wouldn't be continuing to growing, and the impact that we're having is honestly phenomenal. And as I mentioned, check out the Breakthrough Online experience at themanthatcanproject.com, and I look forward to having you all join the Strongman of Value Academy in the future. We're thriving, and you've probably seen a heap of it on social media, which is great. But until then, I'll see you on Monday for the next episode. We've got a brilliant guest coming up, and one that I know is going to teach I already know because I've recorded the episode, but it's going to be a banger. Signing out. Remember, get after your dreams. Have a great day. Cheers. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachlan Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.